Hey, greetings everyone. Dwayne, CFRN. Apologize that I'm a bit late getting the recap out tonight, but it's been a busy day. As you know, we're bringing back the one trade a day, and that has made today one beautifully hectic day. I got to tell you. Now, no small thing. I sent the alert out or the email out last night. I said we were going to open only 200 slots. First we did the beta, and then I said, okay, last night of the email, here's your notice. We're going to open 200 slots, and then we're going to close the enrollment, let the dust settle, and then at some point down the road, we will have an additional enrollment, and we'll grow in phases so that we don't overload ourselves, okay? So that we can always deliver you the best quality product on time. And that's really, it's really our heart to underpromise and overdeliver in everything that we do. And we don't want this to be any different. I did say that I had a feeling the spots would go pretty quick. Now, filling 200 spots of anything, spots, slots, whatever you want to call it, widgets. Selling 200 widgets in a day, that's a pretty good deal, I guess. I don't know. But we almost did it. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be the marketing guy that pulls your leg and says, we got 5 spots left. We actually have a few more than 5. We do. Now, Burt's making the list, keeping the list, checking it twice, naughty, nice, I don't know. We leave that to Leslie, I guess. But I do know that we exceeded our expectations today. I mean, I was pretty hopeful last night when I sent the email out. I was pumped, right? And we almost filled every slot today. But there are still, a few. So if you want it, then call Burt. 866-928-3310. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Hang on a second. I made a comment in the email that I sent out. I said, if you call and you get the voicemail, just leave a voice message. Somebody emailed me today. They said, Dwayne, I called. I let it ring and ring. And I didn't get a voicemail. I'm pretty sure they have voicemail. But you and I are going to find out right here, right now. 866-928-3310. Okay, we're going to resolve the voicemail mystery. I mean, it's possible. Or maybe they just switched it off and forgot to switch it back on. I don't know. But let's see. Could be. And you know what? I think there's a good reason. I'm going to tell you in just a second. I just want to see if it's going to answer. We'll give it 3 more rings. Maybe 5. 1, 2, 3. I think there's a reason why brokers don't use voicemail. Let's go one more time. 2 more times. Okay. Oh. It just stopped. Okay. All right. That could mean that the machine's full. Or, I don't know. It's not like they have an answering machine sitting on the desk. Voicemail. Here's what we're going to do. Now, this morning by 9:45, okay, the market had been open 15 minutes. We already had 46 slots filled. And then Burt popped into the live trading room and said we're just about filled. And of course, as the day progressed, things kind of slowed down. Then at the end of the day, they started to pick up again. And I just honestly, I don't know the number, but I don't want you to worry, because if you miss out on the open enrollment this time, there's going to be another one. I can't tell you it's going to be in a week. I can't even say it's going to be in a month, all right? Because I don't know. I've always told you, you may not like what we tell you, but we're always going to tell you the truth. So here's what I want you to do. Call tonight, 949-42-EMINI, okay? 949-42-EMINI. I know you'll get a voicemail there. Leave your name, your email address, and your phone number. Name, first and last, email, phone number, okay? I'm going to give Burt access to those emails, voicemails tomorrow morning. He'll complete his list. Now, when these 200 slots are filled, we already have set up a waiting list, because some people have actually said, I want to wait to the next enrollment. And so we're really trying to be organized with this. So call, leave a message, name, email address, phone number, okay? And if you want to back it up, just to be sure, send an email to support@cfrn.net. Same thing, name, phone number, best email to contact you, and then just, yes, I would like a slot. We'll make sure you know tomorrow if you're in this enrollment or if you're going to be in the next one, okay? I was going to have a link to you by the end of the day, and I still may, for those of you that Burt got on the list. Now, Burt's left the office for the day. He takes a train into the city and the train home, and so I don't know if I'll speak to him again tonight. Our target of him placing the first trade Monday, we're still shooting for that, okay? But you have to get your account open at Daniels. That's important. Many of you already do, so that's not an issue. Now, back in the day when you were going to open an account, goodness gracious, it took weeks. And you had to fax back and forth hundreds of pages of notarized documents. It was insanity. Today, I think they can turn an account around in about 24 hours, maybe 48. All right. Now, if you're on the list and you're accepted, if we don't get, or he doesn't get your account opened until next Tuesday or Wednesday, that's okay. You'll still be a part of this enrollment. So I don't want you to let that discourage you. Here's how it works. Each day, the one trade of the day, okay, the one trade, it's going to go to Burt. Burt is going to place the trade on behalf of everyone who's a part of one trade a day. I could go into all the reasons why we're doing it this way, but I think you can probably figure it out, okay? This information, this proprietary information, needs to be in the hands of one person. Now, of course, as the trade completes, you'll be able to look at your account and see exactly what transpired, because it's your account. There's two things you have to do. You have to fill out a letter of direction saying, I do hereby authorize you, Burt and Schlichter. So you're going to download a form, read it, sign it, fax it back to Burt, or scan it with your printer and email it, okay? You're also going to download a non-disclosure agreement from CFRN. Typical non-disclosure stuff. I promise you it's not 21 pages. It's going to all fit on one page. That you will not share, disseminate, rebroadcast, blah, blah, etc. And also that we make you no guarantee that you're going to get rich quick, slow, or at all. Okay? You've had an opportunity to watch us in action for the past decade. We started doing the tweets 4 years ago. That's where every night I sent out free trades in anywhere from 3 to 8 markets, day after day after day. It's a matter of public record. You can go back and have a look. Go to twitter.com/CFRN. Go way back, okay? Just keep scrolling. It's all there. It's public record. You'll see every trade every night, and then the following day, I recapped most of the trades to the best of my ability on Twitter. You can look at your chart historically, okay, and see how it turned out. Or you can listen to the next day's radio broadcast. Every day I sent the trades out at night, and then the next day we talked about them on the radio. That was our public beta. I never intended for it to last 3 years, but I kept learning and growing and seeing ways that I could improve it, and so I kept putting it off, and I kept saying, guys, pretty soon this beta test is going to become the real deal. So, save up your shekels and, take some good trades while they're free so that when it becomes a paid product, you'll be prepared. And so everyone had plenty of warning. And now it's been, I think, about a year and a half since we rolled out the official Concierge Trade Alert product, and it's just been exceptional. God has really blessed us, and we're thankful and we're honored and all of that to be able to help so many with their trading. Now, our heart is still to teach you how to trade. That's why we always have a special offer where if you become a Concierge client, we also make a deal to put you in the live trading room on top of that, give you some one-on-one instruction, put some indicators in your hands, so that along with being able to benefit from the Concierge Trade Alerts, you also learn how to trade at the same time. When I stumbled upon the one trade a day idea, man, oh man. I mean, everything we've done has done well. Not bragging or boasting, I'm just grateful and thankful. But that really struck a nerve. I mean, everybody fell in love with the one trade a day concept. So with the beta test results in, and after talking with so many people, I mean, we have just 3 weeks after the beta test ended, everybody that took part in it got an email that said, okay, you're going to receive one trade a day for the next 3 days. Very simple, and people loved it, all right? But we also realized that there were people out there trading our trade that, they didn't sign up for the beta test. So we quickly saw that, no good deed goes unpunished. That's why you got to go through Burt, okay? Burt's going to place the trade on your behalf. Period. That's just the way it's going to work, okay? Now, if you already got an account at Daniels, you're good to go. It's going to get you up and running, and he'll probably be able to trade your account and trade the one trade a day for you as early as Monday. If you need to get an account opened, now, depends upon what markets you want to trade. That will determine the size of an account that you need. The minimum to open an account is $2,000. But you see, the margins for some of the markets we trade are more than $2,000. If it's a Dow, a Russell, a NASDAQ, see Dow, Russell, NASDAQ, S&P, those are all $500 per contract per day. The margin is $500 per contract per day, and I'm talking day margin. Now, even though it's dark outside right now here in Phoenix, in fact, time now is 7:07 p.m. on the West Coast, so it's 10:07 p.m. on the East Coast. It's dark outside in both places, but the day margins are in effect. When the market opens at 6 p.m. Eastern every night, that begins the next day's session. So right now, even though it's Wednesday night, we are officially trading the Thursday session. And we have access to the day margins. So when you go to your platform, your DT Pro platform, if you just open this little guy up right here, okay, you go to Help, go to Contract Margins. That's going to open up a window like this. You're going to be able to scroll down. Currencies, energies, financials. Let's say the euro is your thing. Scroll down to the euro. 6E. Where's the 6E? Euro. 6E right here. Okay. Intraday, it's $1,952. Intraday means you open it and close it during the same session. The Thursday session began tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. It will end Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay? 23 hours a day. Got it? Here's what will happen now. If you don't get flat before the closing bell, this is going to kick in. That's not what you want. Okay? Now, to give you an idea with, I don't know. Well, let me just show you the indices, all right? Because that's just a nice NASDAQ, $500. Don't hold it overnight, though. I mean, don't hold it from one session to the next, because that's what's going to happen. You can trade at night. If I put on a trade right now, it's 10:09 on the East Coast, p.m. If I put on a trade right now on the Emini S&P 500, my margin's $500. If I had put it on this afternoon, right before the market closed, and held it till now, I'd be subject to this margin. Don't let it confuse you, and if it confuses you, call Burt and let him explain it to you. All right? So enough about that. If you want to be in, you know how to get in, and we're happy to have you in. Okay? All right. So let's go. Well, we're going to take a look at a couple things. It's not going to take long to do the Concierge Trade Alert recap because I've already got the charts marked up. Remember last night, as we were looking at the S&P 500, we talked about why we hadn't triggered, etc., and so on, because I had the dial on 3. We were on this candle, and I said, if we pop back into the channel, okay, and close inside of the channel, it becomes a high probability that we're going to go back to the middle of the channel. Once we get to the middle of the channel, it then becomes a coin flip as to whether or not we're going to the top of the channel or back to the bottom of the channel. Okay? Well, we popped back in. We not only went to the middle, we almost went to the top. Then back down to the bottom, then back to the middle, coin flip, and back down. And now we have broken out. Remember I talked to you last night about the Trader Vic business? All right? This is when the Trader Vic fails, and this is when it holds. We come out, we go back to test the underside of the channel, and the bottom drops. Okay? So there you go. S&P 500 E-mini Futures, we're officially out of that channel now. Hopefully we can get some good trades going. Let's take a look at the free trade from today. Okay, that's the big talk of the town, right? Yesterday at 11 a.m. Eastern, everyone knew, and you knew this. Let's see, we put the trade out Sunday night. Let's see, today's Wednesday. So on Sunday night, when we put out this trade, which did wonderful, okay, this trade that we put out Sunday night, if you held it all the way to the lowest, to the swing low, it's about $2,000 per contract in the trade. None of us held it to the exact low because we don't know how. How about that? We just do the best we can. We trail our stop, and whatever skill level we're at, that's where we get out. but it was a great trade. Triggered, this was the Globex Open, 7 p.m. We had told you in advance, that's when we'll issue the trade. The trade triggered at 7:20, and by the time, now this is a still picture, so I'll show you on the actual chart in a moment. By the time all was said and done, it had dropped the equivalent of $2,000 per contract. So that was great. Then yesterday, we promised that we would put a trade out at 11 o'clock. It was for the Russell. Consider being long above 1170 or short below 1147. I've explained to you way too many times already why I feel it necessary to give you both the long side and the short side. So rather than explain it again, just going to keep giving it to you because it's the best thing for you. Okay? All right, Russell. Here's what happened today. Well, actually, two things happened. Let me just show you. Show you the second thing that happened. I'll need to go back to this guy. No, I need, yeah, I do need this guy. Okay. Give me 1 second. Campaigns. All right. View email. That's what we want. Okay. So, last night on the Concierge trade alert, so those are the nights, so I probably shouldn't show those. Last night on the Russell, now this wasn't the free trade, this was the regular Concierge trade alert. We said to be long above 1170 or short below 1154. So we triggered today at 1154. We put in a swing low down at 1140.1. So we'll call that 14. From 40 to 54, that's 14 ticks. The Russell pays $100 per point. So that was $1,400 per contract. Could that have been your one trade a day? It could have been, right? Now, will Burt be able to stick it, at the exact swing low? Probably not. I mean, let's be realistic. What he'll be trying to do is to make sure you get your $100 per contract per day, okay, which will cover you on the 2420 blueprint, enable you to build your account size over time. He's not going to be a daredevil, right? But he's a very talented trader and broker. To have a talented trader and broker placing your trade for you and monitoring your trade for you, wow, that's strong stuff. Okay? All right. The free trade that we put out yesterday at 11 a.m. Eastern, it said to consider being short below 1147. Okay? So that was a little bit different entry. When we triggered 1147, we made it down to 1141.70. Okay? So that's from 47 to 42. Oh, it dropped more after I put that, didn't it? Okay, so let's do the math. 47. Let me get that out of the way. 47 minus 41.70. That's easy enough to do. 47 minus 41.70 equals 53 ticks, or $530 per contract. Okay? Remember, S&P pays $50 per point. The Russell pays $100 per point. We know that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. So what did price do? It came back, it got above the trigger, it dropped a second time. The second time we put in a swing low at 1140.40. So 47 minus 40.40 is $660 per contract. Now, if you were just trading the 2420 blueprint, you would have stopped after you had your 10 ticks, made your $100 per contract per day, and be done. If you've graduated beyond that, or if you come to us and you're already incredibly experienced, right? Now, the 1154 alert all the way down, that paid $1,400 per contract. This first move paid $530 per contract. And then the second move paid $660 per contract. Okay? The next free trade goes out at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Now, don't get confused. We have the free trades, which originally was going to be 3 to 5 a week, but I'm so short on time, it's really going to be more like 3 a week, okay? There may be the rare week, like Christmas, you get a bonus, you get 5 free trades, but count on 3, okay? Now, the 1 trade a day is exactly what it says. It's 1 trade a day. And, of course, because that's an actual product, even on my free trades, I think you can see I do my very best work on the free trades. I do the very best work I can every time I give you a trade. Even when I'm forced to give you a trade in a direction that I don't even think the market's going, I still work hard and do the best job that I can for you. Okay? So for the Russell, you had a shot at $1,400 per contract. That's what the market made available. And then once we got down to the free trade, which was given out yesterday, 530 maximum potential on the first move, 660 maximum potential on the second move. Someone asked me in the live trading room today, do you take every one of these trades? And I said, no, that's impossible. I couldn't. I send out 8 trades every night, or 8 markets, 2 trades per market. That's 16 trades. Now, when you start doing stuff like, trades repeating, a trade not only, well, like even here. Okay, on this 1154 trade that was just the regular concierge trade today, it initially dropped from 1154 to basically 1150. All right, that's $400 per contract. Then what does price do? It gets back above the trigger and gives us another trade. This time it drops down to, we'll call it 1150 again, another $400. Then it gets above the trigger, triggers again. This time it gives us, we'll call it $300. So 400, 400, 300, right? But then this one continues down, so if I'm trailing my stop, this is the opportunity where I have to maybe pick off the entire $1,400 per contract. You see how it's just not possible for one person to go out and take every trade that triggers when you have 8 markets, 2 trades per market, and multiple triggers per trade. I wish I could if I had all these little mini-me's. And you've heard me talk before about what may happen with our lovely historic building downtown, that someday there may be row after row of desks, and there may be traders just putting on and taking off trades based upon my direction. And on those days, we will be able to take advantage of every single trade, every single tick. Doesn't mean we'll get out at the exact swing low, because we still won't be psychic, but we will be able to cover all the ground. And we'll be open 23 hours a day. If and when that comes together. Something we've been planning. We have the facility. We have a lot of the ingredients that we need. We just haven't committed to that yet. Let's get the one trade a day rolling again, and then we'll talk more about that, okay? All right, bonds. Great day in bonds. We said to be long above 157.26. The swing high was 158.02. That's 8 ticks. In bonds, you need 4 ticks to be done for the day. At 31.25 per tick, that's what bonds pay, times 4 ticks, it's $125 per contract. If we had gotten just a few more ticks, if we could have made it up to 158.26, we would have had a $1,000 per contract day in bonds. Didn't happen, came up a little bit short. All right. Crude oil. GCL Z5. We're now trading December crude. Be short below 45.65. That's what the alert said. The first drop took us down to 45.32. That's 33 ticks. How many do you need to be done for the day? 10. The 2420 blueprint says as long as you can make $100 a day in 10 trades or less, you can graduate in 24 months as a 20 contract trader. You simply have to show up and put the trade on. That's all you got to do. Okay? All right. Now, we go back up. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. We get a trigger on a second time. Okay? All right. Okay, and on the second time that we trigger coming down, as you can see, we then put in a swing low, well, in that same hour at 45.17. So from 65 to 17, let's call it 20. What do we got? About 45 ticks there at $10 per tick, $450 per contract. So crude oil gave us some incredibly nice opportunities today. Let's not leave out this one, which dropped all the way to 44.86. Just to give you an idea, had we dropped to 44.65, we didn't, but if we had, 44.65 would have given us the opportunity at $1,000 per contract on the day. Didn't quite go there. But it's always nice to look at it and just see where it is. Remember, our goal is $100 per contract per day. But it's sure nice when we see these $1,000 per contract days like we saw almost in the bonds. Another almost. We don't play the woulda, coulda, shoulda. As long as we get our 10 ticks for the day, man, we're happy. Okay? As long as you can do that consistently, day in and day out, that is the foundation to building an incredible business. Okay? Now, euro, long above 11,370. First trade, you got stopped out. Just plain and simple, if you took this, you got stopped out. However, this one took you all the way up to 11,386. That's 16 ticks. The euro pays $12.50 per tick. You're not going to get all 16, but if you did, here's what happens. 16 times $12.50 equals, that would be $200 per contract. That's double the daily goal. And then price drifted sideways. Now, this is still last week's weekly trading zones. On the radio show tomorrow, be sure and tune in because I'll be putting this week's weekly trading zones on the chart. Our partners and clients have had the weekly zones since 6:15 a.m. Monday morning. Out of respect for them, I don't publicly show them to everyone else until late Wednesday, early Thursday. Today was so hectic, I was buried. I still haven't come out from under this stack of emails. And you know what? I probably won't because they're all asking the same thing. All right? It's about the free trade, not the free trade, but the one trade a day, and just skimming the emails, the two big questions were, do I have to have an account at Daniels? The answer to that is yes. That's the only way Burt, our broker, can place the trade for you. Important to know, I told you this last night, but in case you missed it, we don't get a finder's fee if you open an account with them. If you begin to trade with them and generate commissions, we don't get a kickback. We don't get a split of the commissions. Nothing wrong with that, nothing illegal with that. Everybody does it, except we don't. Why? We don't want to muddy the water. When Michael and I put everything together, we said, hey, why worry about, the few shekels that will come off of that? Because when we tell Burt and Leslie that we really do believe they're the best in the business, let people understand we're saying it because we really believe it and not because we're getting paid to say it. Now, Burt, he understands our methodology. So does Leslie. Burt himself uses our indicators day in and day out to put on and take off trades for his own account, for other accounts that he may trade for people. He knows what we do. He speaks the language. He comes and hangs out in the live trading room. When's the last time you had a broker that would hang out with you in a live trading room environment and help you spot potential trade setups? Probably never, okay? That's the quality of what we have. We are so blessed to have them as a part of this team. We really couldn't do half of what we do without them. So let me just tell you how thankful I am to have Burt and Leslie as a part of our team. All right, soybeans, kind of a disappointment. The trigger to get long on soybeans today was 906, I believe. Let me double check it. Last night, Tuesday evening, soybeans long above 906. We needed to see 908. We didn't. Okay? Now, did we go far enough that you could move your stop to break even so that you don't have a loss? Yes. Did we move? I mean, we were one tick away from hitting the daily goal. So not only could you have gotten your stop to break even, you could have locked in maybe even a point. Depends upon how tightly you trail your stop. The Russell we've already covered. Now, this is that chart I went over with you last night, okay, where we went from zone to zone to zone to zone to zone, and I was trying to impress upon you just the importance of the weekly trading zones and why they're so important in regards to what we do and how we do it. I was trying to see if I could get one of them. Oh, I got one to highlight. Okay, Control C, Control V. Let's see if I can grab this little guy. No, I didn't. I was trying to grab an exact duplicate. Okay. What was it I wanted to show you? I saw a spot that was blatantly missing. Well, I'll drag it over here. Now, these are last week's zones. Look at the carryover strength, right? Price comes racing down today. It goes from zone to zone. 63 to 59. That's 4 points. That's $400 per contract in 1 hour. Next hour, we don't get a lot of consolidation, right? We kind of just slice right on through, and we go from 58 to 51. That's another $700 per contract. Then what do? We go back up to the zone overhead. So we go zone to zone, back up to the zone, back down to the zone. Now from 58 to 51, 7 points, $700 per contract. So you had 700 coming down, and then another 700, and then another 700, and then another 700. 7 times 4 is $2,800. Trading zone to zone to zone to zone. And then, if that weren't enough, it went from zone to zone, back up to the zone, back down to the zone. Let me just open it up. Look at that. Now down here we're going from 42 to 50, so that's 8 points. 800 down, 800 back up, 800 down. $2,400 per contract just trading zone to zone. As I told you, we have partners. They're partners simply for the zones. We've been publishing them since December 14th of 2009. And if you Google up some of the old charts or go out on our blog and look at the old charts from years gone by, they look identical. It's the same. You go, wait a minute, how's that possible? Nothing's changed. It just goes from zone to zone to zone. It's the beauty of math. It's not magic. It's math. If you want to know how this works, how to trade these. Now people always say, well, will you teach me how to do the zones, how to create the zones? Someday. That's my golden parachute. When it's time for Dwayne to retire, he'll hold a seminar in a place that holds probably 5,000 to 10,000 traders. And over the course of 2 hours, I'll change everyone's life forever, and I'll teach you how to do these zones. But that's years down the road, okay? So, but for now, you can trade them, and I will teach you how to trade them. All you have to do is come hang out in the live trading room. I'll work with you. Then you become a partner, and I'll teach you everything I know about how to trade our weekly trading zones. Okay? All right. The Dow. We triggered in the Dow today. Long above 171.75. We got up to 171.98. So from 175 to 200, that would be 25. But it went to 198, so you got to take 2 away, so that's 23 points. How many points does it take? Well, the Dow pays $5 per point, so you need 20 points. So there's 20 there, almost 20 there, another 20 plus there. That's 20 plus plus plus. I mean, this ran all the way up to 17,223. So that's almost it's 48 points. That's exactly what that is. 48 points. Okay. On the short side, there was no trigger. We've already covered the... Oh, we didn't cover the ES, did we? Did we jump straight into the bonds? We triggered on the short side on the S&P. I finally let us trigger. We got in at 2009. The market dropped to 2007.5. See my hesitance and reluctance? And so even though I put it off, we finally triggered today, and we didn't get our head handed to us. What we had was a trade where we needed 8 ticks to be done for the day. If all your trading's the S&P, you need 8 ticks. Well, the market handed us 6, not 8. So, worst case scenario is you got stopped out at break even. That's the absolute worst. Best case is you got stopped out at break even plus 4 ticks. Okay? All right. The only thing I haven't covered is gold. It did. $1,000 per contract per day. We triggered here at 1174, and we dropped to 1164. Actually, the swing low was 63.20. So from 74 to 64, that's $1,000 per contract. And we dropped on top of that another 8 ticks, or another $80. So it was $1,080 per contract in this move. Now this move gave you 13 ticks. Well, you only need 10 ticks to be done for the day. Okay? So you could have took your 10 here, just been done. But if you were in this one, wow. Good stuff. All right? So, one last time, let me show you 866-928-3310. and call them in the morning, see what's available as far as any slots, or get on the waiting list. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's really, don't be discouraged if you don't get on the list this time, okay? If you get a hold of them and they go, hey, I'm sorry, but Dwayne said 200's all we're taking, please put me on the waiting list, okay? Now, we're not going to rush. We're going to let the dust settle. We're going to make sure everything's, working on 8 cylinders or however. I don't guess they make 8-cylinder cars anymore. Everything's working on 2 liters or whatever it is. Your electric car is humming like a golf cart. That's it. As soon as everything's working as it should, we'll have another enrollment, okay? And we'll bring in another probably 200. And then we'll do another enrollment. And we'll bring in another 200 until, everybody on planet Earth that wants to be a part of one trade a day is in. Okay? Now, tonight, if you're listening to this message tonight and you're not certain if you're on the list, not on the list, are there spots open, spots not open, call 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. I promise you we're going to be fair. Your voicemail has a timestamp. Your email has a timestamp. Whatever seats are remaining, whatever slots are remaining, we're going to do it first come, first served. And then those of you that are on the waiting list, you'll be notified that you're on the waiting list. And we'll periodically update you, at least once a week and let you know when you can expect your account to go live with one trade a day. I'm telling you what, go look at the track record. Look at what we've done over the past 4 years from Twitter to twitter.com/CFRN, seekingalpha.com/CFRN, stocktwits.com/CFRN, and Google Plus for about the past year and a half. Let me just show you how to get to that page in case somehow you don't know. Okay? All right. Go up here. CFRN.net. And you know what? Bookmark the page just so it'll be easy for you to get to from here on out. CFRN.net. Now, on the navigation bar, where it says Emini Radio Blog, click that, please. And where it says Watch Recent Broadcasts, click that. And that will bring you here. I sent out the email I sent out last night, and then I followed it up with an email this morning. You could go out and read it. It talks about really what the one trade a day is. Oh, the other question, there was 2 questions as I skimmed the emails. I'm so glad I didn't forget. One was, do I have to have an account with Daniels? The answer is yes. That's the only way Burt can place the trade for you. And that's the only way it can work. And the other was, well, what does it cost? Great question, right? $100 a month is the minimum. If you only want Burt to trade 1 contract per day for you, see, we'll issue the 1 trade a day. Now, whatever that 1 trade is, maybe you want Burt to trade 1 contract, or maybe you have an account size large enough that he can trade 2 contracts for you, or 3, or 4, or 5. It's $100 per contract for the month. Now, that's the entire month. So if you only want him to trade 1 contract for you, he's going to be placing a trade every day, unless it doesn't trigger or something. So whatever the 1 trade for the day is that day, that's the trade he's going to trade on your behalf. And so if you're at the 1 contract level based on your account size, that's going to cost you $100 a month. There's 20 trading days in a month, so that works out to $5 a day. Now, there'll be some months where there'll be holidays, etc. And so your cost per day may bump up to $6 or $7 or $8 a day, but for the most part, just figure it's $5 a day or less than 1 cup of Starbucks coffee. All right. Now, for those of you with larger account sizes, I know that some of you've already mentioned that you want 5 contracts traded a day. All right. That's going to cost you $500 a month. Not per day, not per week, but per month. If you're the 1 contract guy, it's going to be $100 a month. Not a day, not a week, but a month. There's 3 reasons why this concept is so popular, and I think I put it in the email last night, but number 1 is the simplicity. Number 2 is the profitability. Actually, number 1 is the profitability, number 2 is the simplicity, and number 3 is the affordability. Okay? I mean, if you're trading, chances are you can spring for a cup of Starbucks every day. Okay? So it's our work. Now, you're going out to those other sites to look at what we've done over the years. So that's all the years of experience between Michael and I. That's what's behind each one of these 1 trade a days. But then we're taking that and we're putting it in the hands of a true blue American, an ex-Marine, someone who has a heart for people. He loves God, he loves people, and he loves to trade. He's a trader and a broker. This guy knows what he's doing. Now, will he be able to milk every trade to the last tick for you because of his skill? No. Will he try? No. Will he be cautious and careful and do his very best work for you? Yes, absolutely, because that's who he is. And that's why we realized that he's the man for this job. We got our head turned around on, never mind. We want Burt. We want Burt. And Burt's our man, all right? If he can't do it, nobody can. So, I'm excited, man. It's just, man, to come in this morning and see that inbox just overflowing and Burt's texting me and emailing me. He's like, man, my phone's off the hook. I can't even get any work done. Awesome. I'm not going to apologize. That's awesome. And so he and Leslie struggled through the day, went home on the train, exhausted. I hope they didn't fall asleep and miss their station. But they'll be back in tomorrow morning. So tonight, after you're done listening to this, go call that number, 949-42-EMINI. Tomorrow morning, you can talk to somebody at 866-928-3310. But the 949-42-EMINI number, that voicemail works. Also, you can just shoot an email to support@cfrn.net. We're going to put everything onto a spreadsheet, and it really is going to be first come, first served. So don't you worry. If you've already contacted us one way or the other, I know just as I was coming in to do the recap, I saw quite a few emails that said, hey, man, I called. What next? What next? Please, don't you worry. Relax. We're going to take good care of you, okay? You have my word. All right. So let me get out of here because I still have much work to do. The alerts have already gone out for tonight, the Concierge trade alerts. If you don't have yours, check your inbox, check your promotions folder, check wherever it might be that your computer hides things, because each email client has some place where they stick emails that are sent as part of a group email, okay? If you will add support@cfrn.net to your contact list, you'll never miss another email from us. Also, Citrix, we pay them to send you the reminder email each day about the live trading room and about the radio show. If you'll add at citrix.com to your contact list and add at citrixonline.com to your contact list, guess what? You'll get those emails. You won't be emailing me all frantic because you can't get in the live trading room, okay? Now, I'm always happy to help you. Call Burt, he'll help you. Leslie, she'll help you. We're always happy to help you. But if you'll just take a few minutes, it's called whitelisting a domain. You're telling your email client, when these people send me money, they mean business. And it's high priority, and I want it at the very top of my email. And it'll do it. It's a computer. It just does what you tell it to do. Sometimes. Actually, most of the time, right? Okay, life's good. Love you. See you tomorrow morning in the live trading room. Sleep good.